For me, verbal was always something that seemed very intimidating. I used to get scared seeing a long passage and then I started sort of panicking. How will I find answers in such a long passage? And on the test day, I sort of stuck to the sectioning as first DI, then quant, and then verbal. And
It's a very unusual order, let me tell you though. I mean, I've never heard.
GMAT tends to make things tougher for you, and then you always saying that GMAT will always penalize me more for missing out on easier questions as compared to missing out on hard ones. I guess the most important thing is to have faith in yourself that you will be able to do good.
Yeah.
And even when you're seeing something difficult, don't just feel that it's something that you don't know. And just move ahead and try to focus on all those sort of questions that you are confident of. And in the end, it might be that it was one of those tougher questions that the GMAT expected you to miss.
All right. So we have Divyansh with us, and very proudly, I'd love to announce that he scored a 755, which is one of the most phenomenal scores seen around in the GMAT circuit overall. So if I actually add 55 to it, which used to be the deal that, okay, any score that you get, you add 55, this will exceed 805 by that logic. So he has scored in the previous version a near perfect 800 or even more than that, which is not even possible, but that's what. And he took only 2 months of preparation time. So this is another thing. And when we look at the score report also, you can actually see the session that we are discussing, data insights, verbal quant. So every percentile is very close to 100. So I really want him to tell. So Divyansh, I'll stop the screen and I will invite you to start your camera. Hey, hi Divyansh. So first of all, congratulations. Since yesterday it has been fantastic. Your mail was received probably in the afternoon sometime around 12, 11, probably 1. And we've all been exceptionally happy with the performance. So just take us through your journey. You said you, in a way, started in May sometime preparing, and then in not even mid-July, we can say, so it's not even half of July, and you got the score. So how did you plan the entire preparation? What were your weak areas, and how did you go about the whole thing? Right from the beginning till the end, just give me a chronological order of your preparation.
So I had that feed that you guys share. This has the schedule of everything starting from the pre-course work, the base sessions and the live sessions. So I tried to follow it as strictly as possible, and I sort of didn't have any other commitments in this past 1.5 months, 45 to 50 days. So I put GMAT as my priority and just follow that step by step. So starting with the CR basics, the RC basics, the quant sessions, and then going on to each of the live sessions with the pre-work, then the session, then the post-work. So I guess it was all just doing it pretty sticking to the plan provided by the top 1% team. And then I sort of tried to give the last 2 weeks just for mock tests and sectional tests so that I can work more on my timed accuracy bit. Because it's very easy to get carried away with a question and then spend 10-15 minutes on it. And then you realize, oh, I just have 5 minutes left for the last 5 questions or 10 questions. So that was really important so that was something that I really had to work on.
Right.
So, especially in topics like data insights where you get a multi-source reasoning pattern, and then it becomes very easy for you to just spend 10 minutes on it.
Right.
So I kept the last 2 weeks just to brush it up.
So, okay, what were your challenge areas? Let's say you said verbal first, you did as per the plan. Was there any challenge with verbal, with the way you used to approach, let's say, a passage or a CR question versus with the way we explained it? I mean, was there a difference in the thought process here, please?
Yeah, pretty much a lot. So for me, verbal was always something that seemed very intimidating. And so I used to get scared seeing a long passage and then I started sort of panicking. How will I find the answers in such a long passage? But the way you taught it in the sessions and by practicing it slowly, I got the confidence to read the entire passage and then figure out what parts to look for a relevant question. And then the cognitive theory, it really helps, especially in primary purpose questions.
Right.
Coming to CR was sort of a very new thing for me. Like these type of questions we haven't really done in the past, be it school exams, Olympiads, or anything. So it was it was a new thing, and the sort of tests that we taught from the way, be it the negation test, how to pick out strengthness with weakness, all those sort of helped me build a mindset that how to approach a CR question, what are keywords to look at, and basically how you treat it so that you feel more comfortable looking at it, and then you can get to the
Right. All
correct
right,
answer.
Divyansh, just did you make those kinds similar mistakes and did you fall for traps in quant and AI as well? I mean, DS particularly, did that happen, or you feel that that was pretty basic for you? I mean, initially, I'm asking, did you make those trap-based mistakes in quant and data sufficiency?
In data sufficiency, definitely. Like I have often found myself just thinking, ki, how did I miss this? Or there are so many traps in GMAT that you feel consumption is very straightforward, but when you check your answers, you find out that it was wrong.
Right.
So those sort of things just sort of come with practice. I
Mm-hmm.
had to send a lot of mails regarding doubts and all to
Right,
really
right.
get to understand what I was missing in a question. And once you do enough number of questions, you start getting to know the traps, that if this is what they're trying to say, this
Mm-hmm.
might be something I have to look after, or I'll
Right.
again go with the same mistake.
And how did you prepare for data insights? As you said, speed was a challenge, particularly in MSR kind of questions. So initially, did the portal come in handy again and again? You had to do I believe you did a lot of practice in there. So just
Definitely.
trying to.
So all data insights was through the portal only. All the IR marathon, sectional tests, topic wise tests. For
Mhm.
data insights, I try to do as much resource as possible, and also the portal also sort of makes it easier for you to solve those questions. They should have been very difficult to look at in the form of a PDF or something like that.
Right, right, right.
So the portal really helped me get knack of things like sorting the lists and
Hmm.
choosing the calculator that wherever needed. So all those stuff really put me better in the exam paper.
Right. And as you said, you worked only for one and a half, oh, sorry, around less than 2 months, about 45,
Yeah,
50 days. What was your routine like? Because you said you put yourself completely in this situation. So what did you do every day? And how about consistency? Did that help as well? Like, did you have this as a mission that I have to crack it soon, like that?
yeah, definitely. So I sort of have my joining coming up in a few weeks, and I was like, I need to get a score before I start my job, because once I get into it, it might be very difficult.
Right,
I just had that sort of thing in my mind. So right now I spend more or less 5 to 6 hours daily, either going
right,
through the lectures or doing some sort of questions. And yeah, just try to do it at least 6 days a week. Maybe Sunday was a day I sort of took a half
yeah,
day while studying Zoom. But yeah,
right,
six
right.
days a week proper practice.
And what could have pulled your score down? What was the initial thing that was just not improving? And it took a lot of effort and time eventually to fix it, using maybe the material, using maybe the PDF practice, using maybe the portal practice, whatever. Yeah,
So I'd say integrated reasoning and CR questions. Those two needed a lot of practice. And
right,
even on the day of the test, I was pretty scared that I'll miss something here and there in the
right.
DI questions.
So
So
were you extra careful or what? How did you really go about that? Because this happens a lot. If you're being too careful, you lose out on time. So how did you
yeah,
manage that? Then,
so that is what the mock test and the sectional test helped me to tackle. To be
right,
careful yet be in a time manner. And
right. So you
I
strike
tried,
that balance eventually, right?
yeah,
If you practice so much, really good. And tell me what were your initial mock scores like, and how did you use the portal? How did you use the official mocks? In which order? Like, did you do the official mocks first? Did you do the portal mocks? Did you keep a mix? And what were initial scores like, and how did you improve further? Yeah,
so I first did the type diagnostic mock on the portal,
right,
then one of the official mock test, and then I saved the second one for the last, so
right,
that because I've heard that it's sort of on the easier side, and that will help me gain confidence before the
right, right,
actual paper. And the test, so uh, between these two mocks, I gave the mocks available on the top 1% portal, and my score was in the range of 650 to 700 in the top 1% portal, and around 700 to 750 in the two
Okay.
official mocks that I gave.
And what were the challenges, let's say, on our portal, what brought your score down? Is it just the difficulty, which obviously is a little higher? Definitely, we have maintained that. But what was the other reason, probably? Like time management, or would you say some
So
areas you did not know very well? Mastery, or what would you say?
So each of the mocks sort of helped me find out which area I need to focus on. So whenever I gave a mock, I didn't spend the rest of the day working on which part I lost most of my marks on, be it be it due to time mismanagement or some concept in CR or in DI.
Right.
So the mock sort of helped me build up on the separate concepts, and that is how I was able to reflect the final score in the official mock as well as the paper.
Also, you wrote particularly about the doubt support. So, I mean, I also remember having seen a lot of your mails in the past. I mean, when your final mail came that, okay, this is the same person who got the score. All right. So, how was that support from the teammates of, and like whatever it is? Yeah.
So I feel that it was probably the most important one of the most important things for me, especially in questions from quant and data sufficiency, because I wasn't really uh, I always try to look at what I did wrong, where did my uh,
Hmm.
approach go wrong, and for that I needed someone to just help me understand the process a bit better,
Hmm.
and that's why I did, like, even while solving the PDFs or the mocks, I used to just send questions and be like, "This is what I thought," and it's not matching up to
Hmm.
my thought process. If you could please help me out where I went wrong,
Right. Right.
and especially in topics like ANC and all that, you
I remember seeing a lot of mails from you that, okay, I understand the solution, but what is wrong in my answer,
yeah,
my approach? I think this used to be a standard template of asking a lot of
that has
emails
been
like that. Yes, yes. So you were fine with the solution. You said that solution makes sense to me, but I'm not able to understand why I'm going wrong, right? This
most
used
of
to
the
be.
time it was the case.
All right. So you did get scores. I mean, eventually probably got the highest score on your actual exam, maybe. Is
Yeah.
that right? All right. So let's come to that. And what was the section order, first of all? And like, how was it section by section? Quant, your score is perfect 90. So it seems that you may not have made any mistake, or maybe maximum one mistake in there. But just describe the order of sections. And did you find anything unusual? How did you find the pacing on the exam? And so on. Please just describe it fully. Yeah.
I sort of stuck to the sectioning as first DI, then quant, and then verbal
Okay.
in sort of my last 5 6 box also, because I felt DI needed maximum of my, like, I had to be most vigilant there, and you
Right.
sort of get a bit complacent as the test goes on. So I wanted to be as fresh as possible for the DI section, and then do the quant and get done with all the tougher parts so that I can just focus on the screen and read properly.
Okay.
That is how I
Okay.
planned my sections.
It's
And
a very unusual order, let me tell you, though. I mean, I've never heard this would be anybody's order in general, but okay, carry on, please. Yeah.
so and on the test day, I started with TI first, and
Right.
I felt that I was doing pretty good. I was also doing it in proper time. But
Hmm.
then I remember getting a non-math DS question, and that just
Right.
took me a bit off, off track.
Did you do the practice that we had provided, by the way, for non-math DS problem?
Yeah, I did do, but I just never felt that it will be. It was a bit trickier than what I thought
Okay.
non-math
Okay.
would be.
Okay. Yeah.
It was more on CR lines as compared to
Hmm.
anything related to
Right.
what problem it is. And so then I did try to gather myself back. And after spending 2.5 minutes, I was like, I remember someone saying in one of the sessions that GMAT tends to make things tougher for you. And then you always saying that GMAT will always penalize me more for missing out on easier questions as compared to missing out on hard ones.
Right.
So that this might be a hard one. Let's just move forward and focus
Right.
on the remaining 19 questions. So and then so that's how my DI went. Quant was pretty
But
straightforward.
anything else unusual on the DI section except for that one question?
Not
Anything else?
really. Most of it was similar to the questions we have on the marks and these
Right,
sections.
right. The question that you're talking about also, I think CR question, type data sufficiency. We have had and we have a full-fledged test also, and we have incorporated in some of the content already. So anyway, that's great. And yeah, about the quant section, anything unusual in there? Did you finish in time? Just tell.
Quant was pretty straightforward for me. I felt the questions were relatively easier as compared to the mocks we have.
Right,
And I did it in around 35-40 minutes, and I took the remaining 5 minutes to just go through the questions once to make sure I haven't done any sort of calculation mistake.
right,
And then in verbal too, it was pretty good. Like I didn't face the time problem, and the passages were. So I got four RC passages, and three of them were slightly shorter than what we had in the mocks.
right,
So that really helped me because I was planning my split according to the mock, so it helped me save on time
right, right,
due to the less number of paragraphs. And eventually, I had time to spend on the longer passage that I got.
right.
So it all sort of helped me.
Overall, anything unusual on the entire test that you would say that threw you off, that this sort of a question or this sort of a concept I've never seen before? Anything?
But not really. Most of it, all of it was sort of covered in the mocks or the lectures. Nothing felt
Right.
unusually new.
All right. And you also talked about the motivational aspect in the email and the fact that I came to your college and then that's how you got introduced to the GMAT. So tell me, how does that help? I mean, does that really put you back on track some days when you're slacking? What was the motivation actually? Because, yeah,
So I had heard of this GMAT in the past couple of years, but when I started looking, the moment I started looking seriously was when you came to our college and gave a talk on how it can help us shape our future.
right,
And that is when I sort of started having this feeling that I need to crack this.
right,
And then the sort of motivation, like I went through a lot of your videos with the past coders. You talked
right,
about their journeys, and some days you don't perform very well on a particular mock, and you sort of feel that I might be not well enough to do it. But when you listen to those stories, that it's fine to it's fine to get a good score in a couple of mocks. You just need to have faith in yourself, and it's most important to have good mood, a good environment on the final day of
right.
the exam. So those videos really helped me to keep on going and keep on trying to improve my score, even if I sort of got disheartened by a couple of marks.
Okay. And did you, for reading comprehension particularly, do the initial awareness videos or the remaining
Yeah.
Know the World videos? Just give that as well, if that helped as well, because I want to be very sure that, what is the component that really helped you quite a lot. So just if you did, I don't know about that bit, so just asking.
So I went through the initial awareness video. I couldn't do all the Know the World
Right,
because I felt
right.
that the
Yeah, you
time
took
was
a
sort
very
of had.
short time frame,
Yeah.
definitely.
But I did spend most of my time doing reading comprehensions, the passages on the RC guide, the 700 to 800 level question, and that was what really helped me get a knack of doing such questions.
Right, right. Any special tip you will have for people in general now that you've seen your preparation, you're on the other side, that I should have done this, but I didn't, or I did this and this was the best thing. So do's and don'ts of sorts, please tell. Yes.
So I'll first start. It's something I felt I didn't do very well. So I sort of started using the portal a little later than when I should have started
Right, right,
using it. So the portal really has a lot of content, and it will always help you to do more questions in a timed manner. That
right.
is something I probably felt I could have done a bit sooner.
Yeah,
And apart from that, I'd say that I guess the most important thing is to have faith in yourself that you will be able to do good.
yeah.
And even when you're seeing something difficult, don't just feel that it's something that you don't do and that will just bring down your score. Just move ahead and try to focus on all those questions that you are confident of. And in the end, it might be that it was one of those tougher questions that the GMAT expected you to miss.
Right, right. Oh, that's a good approach, I think. Mentally, I think it's peaceful in this sense that if you really, really adopt this principle. All right. So all the very best and thanks for the time today. And apart from that, I'm not sure whether you're looking for admissions this year or next year. So talk to my teammate Autry. I
Yeah,
think he will be able to guide you personally on how we can really help you with this journey as well, in case you decide to go forward. I mean, a lot of students from your college have already helped, so I'm sure you know about them.
yeah.
And let's really make one more addition to that illustrious list already. Right, right, right.
Thank you. Thanks
All
so much.
right. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.